Hello, greetings. This is Gillesmansillon. I'm called to return today to continue to communicate on transcendental psychology, on spiritual matters. For those things will take a while before they become fully integrated, but we're moving towards a time where there's going to be a great shift and change within everybody, where a lot of people will realize certain truths within themselves, but will not come forward in trying to present it. They will deny it, they will avoid it, because they're afraid not to be taken seriously. And so we want to be here in assistance to them. For personally, I am... what interests me the most is the science and consciousness of the omniscience of God, of the Spirit. And so this is really what I'm seeking to discover. But that's the biggest of all challenges, to become this unity consciousness with the cosmic source. Within the cosmic mind, there is all the programs of reality are evolving within and growing. So focus on those things that you know are true and right and feel good for you. For we do not know what direction the wind will blow. For now, my boat is like navigating. Spirit says it's going to navigate in the right direction. Otherwise, I can like fall from the edge of the earth. It's like I'm very close to the edge of the earth. I always feel like I'm going to fall out of the earth. But Spirit says to trust, and things will go in the right direction. And when I say it's good to travel, first to learn to travel, to put our mind at ease, our body at ease, to meditate, and to allow our consciousness to investigate all kinds of other potential, to open up to the astral and spiritual travel. But even physical travel opens our mind to confront our mind to different culture. And so traveling is kind of good. We'll probably be called to do more traveling. I was very lucky in the sense that I lived 20 years in America, but I feel that in a sense in 20 years I lived in America, I did 100 times more things than in the last 20 years since I've been back in France. So it doesn't mean that France doesn't have great potential. It's just we need to, the more we travel, the more we meet people, the more stories we have to tell as well. And our life is rich because of those stories. We have a story that we tell ourselves, and we have to improve the quality of the story we tell to others and to ourselves in order to move into this path of ascension. For we've been through great changes in 2019. It's been a very difficult year. Personally, I've had a very bit. I know I've grown a lot. I've changed a lot. Even if I've not completed all the things I wanted to do, I still see and know that there is a great deal of change. My attitude in relationship to many things have changed, and I feel a lot more settled, a lot more comfortable. Although I still feel like I'm in limbo. I'm not sitting in any chair. It's like I'm in between world, and I can fall down in a precipice anytime, or I can just be seated on the right side. But we'll figure it out in any event. It's important to try. It's not always easy to understand the messages of spirit, the intuition, the signs. For you want to pay attention to all the signs, the synchronicity. And then move towards to create this interface between dimension with your higher self, so you can communicate with your higher self. In essence, there is two things that are essential in this process. Those are the main thing. Is to connect to your inner source, where you can find other teachers that will teach you great things and can provide spiritual food. But this inner food, this inner light, it's all bringing you back to the connection to your own soul and spirit, and to utilize that connection, that light you discover within, to educate the world, to teach, to bring this energy forward. Even not everybody's open to it, it's still valuable. For there is so much to learn from service, from finding ways to integrate, to anchor this energy. For we are awakening to 4D perception. All our chakras are being expanded. We can travel more, we can feel more energy going through those chakras. Eventually we're going to move into the 5th dimensional chakras, which will all be integrated within the pillar of light. But for now, we want to be understand that when we have fifth dimensional dream, which is like heavenly reality, or we have experience that feels so heavenly, it's like most people will dismiss it as a dream. They will not pay attention to it if it felt good, but that was just a dream. When actually this is actually the connection, the reality we're seeking to connect with. For it's like it's the awakening of the Shiva and Shakti, and the root to the crown, to open this energy field to the crown chakra, the Shakti. to the higher planes, to the realm of spirit. It is the balance of the divine masculine and feminine, the rose on one side, the feminine, and the holy grail on the other side. For we have all those aspects within ourselves. To become a light worker was supposed to be a joyful work, a very light and easy path. But this matrix is so challenging that it's not always as easy. But we want to move towards that grace and ease. Understanding that God is aware of all the weight that we carry while we're living this life, and so what we want is to get rid of, to eliminate, to move towards that which is light and free. And when it's time, when we have accomplished our mission, we're still needed here, from what I understand. When we'll accomplish our mission, we'll be recalled, we'll return to the source, we'll return to our point of creation, to this eternal light. For all beings are created eternal. The animals are eternal, the trees are eternal, the humans are eternal beings. For God created all beings as eternal, so every soul goes through his experience, so maybe dramatic sometimes, like for instance in any event, it can be dramatic, even death, but death does not really exist, because each soul is waiting, once we pass on, we're waiting for a new incarnation, we review all that happens. Even animals, when an animal dies, he has to go, he has no karma, but because animals are sincere, they're not in deception, but they move into these higher planes where they're like they review their emotional experience. For animals are deep, they're feeling emotion, they're feeling anger, they're feeling sadness, they're feeling joy, they're feeling all kinds of emotion. And so it's good to send a good thought into the atmosphere, to say to all the animals in the wild that you love them. For there are people that are killing them for sport, but there are a lot of people that love the animal world as well, that cherish it, that treasure it. And so even if those animals have to leave because of the change of the climate, at least they know they've been loved by you, and so it's important to send their love, and they will return after the ascension. For when they die, they pass on to this higher plane, and they'll reincarnate on other planets, for there are trillions of other planets we do not know, where souls can transmigrate. And also wanted to thank all the cats and dogs for they're doing amazing work in this planet. They are essential. Some of them are not really in the vibration of this planet, but they're adapting and they're serving a great service, great purpose. I'm going to pull a few cards. For those are my thoughts, my ideas, for they may be a little bit advanced in relationship to what is commonly acceptable to believe. For I have in the past it's faire le ménage. It means to clean up the house. It's about letting go of all those things that are no longer wanted. Right now, our situation is flexibility. We have to be able to be adaptive to whatever is there. And in the future is the destinies. It's about moving. It's just, following our path, and our path leads us to that freedom from karma. Where we're working on right now is into the sea. It's about plunging into the ocean and navigating towards source, towards love. And the outcome is a never-ending story. So that this story is what it says is to let go of unnecessary dramas. We have a tendency to add up to the drama, to make the difficulties of our life into dramas. So it's about letting go of that. And as we let go of that, we find a deep knowledge. There is deep knowledge that are emerging from our ability to elevate ourselves above the drama. There is a strong connection that is getting closer with the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians are their cousins. They're humanoid beings, and they will be coming. They're very close. They're eager to come in. They're very advanced beings, and they are Arcturians, Antarians, Pleiadians that are choosing to incarnate in physical bodies. Some of them is the first life here, so they're like, whoa, what is that? They don't have karma, they don't have past to deal with, but it's like, woo, it's a heavy matrix here. But and many of them have chosen to stay on the upper plane, on the settled plane in starships, so from there they can see so much. But it's in order to transform the world, and this is the planet in transformation, you have to take a chance, a risk to incarnate, to become part of it in order to transform it from within. And so, what else did I want to discuss? I wanted to say that light will always win at the end. For those the dark souls that have all those programs. In truth, the programs are a lot darker and a lot more integrated, the dark programs, into society than humanity knows. But they will be expurged, because they were misled to believe that the darkness could win, when the darkness can never win. You can shield the light from shining, but you cannot extinguish it. For this light, it is eternal. And on the scientific level, if you come in with a light within a dark room, the obscurity disappears and the light takes its place. So the light will win. For we've been through this great transition that is happening, and some people will be asked to make this transition in a few weeks or a few months. The more we are prepared, the easier it will be to find the stability when the storm comes. For I am the storm. It's a comment of Trump says the storm is coming. I am the storm. So it's a good attitude, be it all. And for personally, I've been through 3 decades of preparation for this transition, and so I have explored a lot of things. Sometimes it's fade from my memory, but it's all been recorded. What we seek is union with our higher self, with our soul and spirit group and monad, and to become integrated within that, and to become one with the higher self of all. For once we are one with our higher self, we'll be one with everything and everyone around us. And if you have something that is really hard to solve on the physical plane, you can ask your higher self to go see the higher self of anyone else, or all beings within the situation, in order to find an harmonious resolution to this process. I also wanted to say that there will be a re-emergence of Lemuria and Atlantis, for not the physical continent, but the memory of those lost, forgotten civilization. For Lemuria was very much more advanced than Atlantis, but they never had to deal with physicality. They were 12-dimensional beings, and they lived very happily for million years here. But 800,000 years ago, Atlantis started a war with Lemuria, which was more softer civilization. There was no dark side to Lemuria, and so they had to, when the continent sank, they had to go and create this inner civilization called Agartha inside the earth. They find where they could live in peace, because there was so much war on the surface. And Atlantis, it is the positive memory of Atlantis, which was a physical world that when civilization was created to reassemble all the different ideology and tribe. But there was there was 2 major conflicting, not conflicting because they lived together for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, but there were 2 very distinct civilizations by the end of Atlantis. One was matriarchal. It was the Atlara on Poseida, the island of Poseida, and then there was which was matriarchal, integrated, scientific and spiritual, and there was the Aryan and the sons of Belial, which were like patriarchal, corporatist, militarist, and they were controlling the engines of production. And so eventually this is those darker sides that created the fall of Atlantis. But now it is about re-emerging with this positive memory of this connection to the world of spirit that we had already in Atlantis. And so this is about what I wanted to discuss. And so I'm going to pull one more card to finish. I'm going to sing a song. Behind me, this is a portrait. It's part of 9 portraits on the muses. This is Euterpe. It's the muse of music. She's very pink, but I like her. I was going to rework on it, but when I see all those 9 portraits of the 9 muses, they function well together. And this is a portrait on cosmology. A map of cosmology. It represents the grand universe and the 7 families of spirit beings. At the very center of this painting, there is paradise, the symbol of paradise. Paradise is like a long elliptic, it's the biggest, there's more beings living on paradise than the whole cosmos combined. It's so big, it's beyond human imagination. Yet it is eternally hidden and can never be discovered from the outside. And so on the upper surface, there is 3 major zones: the deity presence, the most holy sphere, and the holy hera, the 7th zone of residential hera. Then there is peripheral paradise, which is the entry point, where there is all the memories And then on neither paradise, the plane below, we don't know all that much. Personalities are not allowed there. Just the gods have there is 3 concentric zones, and there is energy coming out for 2 billion years, and then for 2 billion years there is energy coming in. The energy never comes in and out in the same time. It takes 2 billion years for those cycles to go through, and so. And then the paradise is stable. It's the only stable place. It never moves. Everything moves in relationship to it. And it's surrounded immediately by three circles, 21 satellites, 3 circles of 7 exclusive planets, the eternal planets. We will discover that, and then there is some there, and then and then those planets are surrounded by 3 concentric circles of world called Avona, the central universe. It's 1 billion perfect world with perfect inhabitants, the huge planet on 7 circuits. And this universe was created as an ultimate, it's not an evolution, it was created perfect from the start, and it served as model for all local universe. And but even the central universe is in the process of changing. First, because there is some of its inhabitants, the Avona, are migrating towards paradise, and others are migrating towards the super universe in order to bring the culture of the central race down into the higher planes of the universe as artists, scientists, philosophers. And there is great mysteries as well that nobody really knows, is that each of those billion worlds, they have an eternal of days as a ruler. There is no need in the present time for any such a ruler to be there. And there is a universal censor, which is an absolute judge on reality, that is stationed on each of those worlds. So the gods must know something that we don't know to have placed those beings there, because there is absolutely no need in this time and space reality. For a very long time, no beings from any super universe would ever make it to the doors of Avona, the central universe, until one day there was, from the first super universe, there was a being named Grand Fonda who actually made it. He was the first beings from time and space to ever reach the planes of eternity. And now there is beings every day from each super universe that qualify to pass through Avona. For nobody can ever qualify to this central universe if they're not ready. There's not a back door that someone can come in, and the gods have sealed that off. And so, but it's a world of wonder and marvel that we'll discover in time. And then beyond that, there is two dark gravity bodies that are englobing it. It means that nowhere from any point of space is Avona accessible nor visible. So all of this will remain eternally, will hold the eternal center of the whole cosmos, but will never be visible. That's what's creating a lot of speculation from scientific communities. And then beyond that, there is a 7th super universe of time and space, our own super universe. The Milky Way galaxy is at the center of the 7th super universe, and so they go counterclockwise around paradise. Right now we're going north. And what we see in our super telescopes are the first level of outer space. Those great galactic clusters that we can see in our super telescope. The celestial astronomers have detected more than 10,000 clusters of galaxies that are beyond the size of our super universe. And then we have already seen the beginning of the second level. For the first level, it's infinitely bigger than what the super universe will reveal, and we do not know what's going to be happening there, but the construction of those galaxies on the second level are already happening, and there will be third and fourth level, and of ever increasing manifestation of galactic. So the universe is actually quite young in relationship to what we know it will become, but it is a creation. And above is the 7 families of spirit beings, so the deity, the great I am, the Father, Son, Spirit, the Supreme, the Ultimate, the deity absolute. There's the unqualified absolute and the deity absolute that are unified by the universal absolute, the architects of the master universe, the paradise creator sons, the master spirits. There is all not all, but some of the most essential spirit, and it will take a while, but eventually those paintings can be served as references in relationship to many of those spiritual things, but it will probably take a few hundred years before humans get ready for that, but they can already be appreciated now, and I know that my work is about to enter I'm going to hopefully be able to really soon be able to present it into the world, and for only maybe 10% of the collectors will find attraction towards those Renaissance spiritual ideas, but that's enough to start this movement, and there are many other artists that are working within that field, that with that intention to reveal spirit, to reveal things about the whole spirit world. For creating art is open. There is nothing. There is no limit. It's just the limit of space, time, and color and form. But since we're all unique, we all have. For artists, it's a difficult path to choose to be an artist. But sometimes I felt like I should have been move more into a business aspect. I had many opportunities to move more into business aspect but I stayed into the art, and. So it is now, and so we'll see. No matter what happened, it is there. It is physically anchored, those paintings. My song, I didn't know what to sing, and it was this song. It's an old folk song for the folk music, American folk song, and it goes like this. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling at the vantage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has lost the faithful lighting of his terrible sweet sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make man holy, let us live to make man free, as truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Nice song. It's an old folk song, but I don't quite agree. Christ didn't die to make man holy. Man was holy already. Just reveal that, but it would never. There is a lot of misunderstanding in relationship to all those things that will come into the slowly but surely. The truth will be realigned to something that is real. And we will find this point of freedom. Once we find truth, will make us free. Yeah? It's because we live in so much untruth in society that we have so many bondage, and as we liberate those untruths, those illusions, and replace it by truth, we'll find more freedom. For people are demanding freedom, they're demanding an honest and balanced, equitable model of society. And the card of the day today is the sun. Is the Archangel Uriel, a marvelous life. Find fulfillment through positive thoughts, ideas that leads to success. So stay positive, connect to Uriel, call on him. He's a very powerful archangel, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.